baby Japanese macaque sits alone near the edge of an enclosure. His small hands grip an orange stuffed toy, a plush orangutan nearly half his size. He presses it against his chest. He drags it when he moves. When the other macaques push past him, he holds it tighter. This is Punch, and for weeks this toy was his only constant companion. But why? Why would a mother primate abandon her infant shortly after birth? And what does science actually tell us about this behavior? Over the next 8 minutes, we'll separate confirmed facts from online speculation. We'll look at the documented events at Ichikawa City Zoo, examine what researchers understand about maternal rejection in primates, and follow the careful process of reintegrating an orphaned infant into a social group. This is not a simple story, but it is a real one. Ichikawa City Zoo occupies a quiet stretch of urban greenery in Chiba Prefecture, Japan, less than an hour from central Tokyo. The facility is modest: local families, school groups, a handful of enclosures. One of them houses a troop of Japanese macaques, Macaca fuscata, living together in an open-air space the staff call Monkey Mountain. In July 2025, a female macaque in that troop gave birth to a male infant. What happened next was immediate. The mother showed no interest in holding him. She did not attempt to nurse. Within the first hours of life, the newborn was alone, lying on the ground without the warmth or protection that infant macaques depend on for survival. Zoo staff intervened quickly. They removed the infant from the enclosure and placed him under human care. Bottle feeding every few hours, constant monitoring, physical contact to provide warmth and reduce stress. They named him Punchy-kun, in English, Punch. To help ease his distress, caretakers introduced soft blankets and plush toys. Punch latched onto one in particular, a small stuffed orangutan with bright orange fur. He carried it everywhere. He slept pressed against it. When startled, he clutched it tighter. The toy became a fixture, and when footage of Punch, small alone gripping his plush companion, began circulating online, viewers around the world responded. But behind the images was a harder question. What happens now? Punch could not remain isolated. Japanese macaques are social animals. Their development depends on interaction, on learning the signals, hierarchies, and behaviors that define life in a troop. In mid to late January 2026, zookeepers made the decision to reintroduce him. What happened to Punch is painful to witness. But within the study of primate behavior, it is not unheard of. Maternal rejection has been documented across multiple primate species, including Japanese macaques. Published research indicates that a small percentage of infants in both wild and captive populations are abandoned or neglected by their mothers, though exact rates vary depending on the study and conditions observed. So what drives this behavior? There is no single cause. Researchers point to a combination of factors, biological, environmental, and social, that may influence whether a mother engages in caregiving or withdraws. Inexperience is one of the most frequently cited variables. First-time mothers, primiparous females, have no prior model for infant care. Studies on macaques suggest that maternal competence often improves with successive births. A female raising her first infant may fail to recognize feeding cues, or may be overwhelmed by the physical demands of nursing and constant contact. Stress and environment also appear to matter. Captive settings can introduce pressures that do not exist in the wild. Unfamiliar sounds, limited space, reduced social support from experienced females. These conditions may interfere with the hormonal responses that normally promote bonding. Health of the mother, the infant, or both is another potential factor. An infant that appears weak or unresponsive may receive less maternal investment. Some researchers interpret this through an evolutionary lens, though such explanations remain debated and difficult to confirm in individual cases. Social disruption within the troop can also play a role. Interference from dominant individuals or instability in group structure may interrupt the critical first hours when bonding typically occurs. It is important to be clear, we do not know why Punch's mother rejected him. The zoo has not disclosed details about her history, health, or prior reproductive experience. What we know is that the rejection happened early and that staff responded quickly enough to save him. Rejection is not cruelty, it is not punishment. It is a behavioral outcome shaped by biology and circumstance, one that science is still working to fully understand. Before we move on, we're curious what you think. Have you ever seen an animal form an attachment to an object the way Punch did with his stuffed toy? Or do you have questions about primate behavior we haven't covered? Let us know in the comments. Survival was only the first challenge. The harder work came next. Japanese macaques live in structured societies. Rank matters, alliances matter. Social learning, acquired through observation, play, and correction, shapes how an individual navigates the group. An infant raised in isolation misses all of this. This is why Punch's return to the troop was necessary, and why it could not be rushed. When he was first reintroduced in January 2026, the adjustment was difficult. Early footage showed him hesitating near the edges of the enclosure, approaching other juveniles, then pulling back, sitting apart from the group, his stuffed companion beside him. Some interactions were rougher. In one video that circulated widely, an adult female macaque grabbed Punch and pulled him in a brief spinning motion before releasing him. The clip alarmed viewers unfamiliar with macaque social behavior. Footage like this can be alarming to viewers unfamiliar with macaque society. In Japanese macaque troops, adults may react forcefully when boundaries are crossed, especially around mothers with infants, and brief, rough-looking interactions can function as social correction rather than sustained aggression. Without an official, case-specific explanation for that exact moment, we can only say this. Such behavior is documented in primate social life, and what matters is whether the troop allows the youngster to remain, recover, and keep engaging. What mattered, they emphasized, was Punch's response and his persistence. By early February 2026, zoo staff reported signs of progress. Punch had been observed receiving grooming from other macaques, a behavior associated with social bonding and acceptance. He was seen engaging in brief play sessions with juveniles closer to his age. He had begun initiating contact, rather than only reacting to others. He still carries the stuffed orangutan. He still retreats to it when stressed, but the moments of isolation appear to be decreasing. His circle, slowly, cautiously, is beginning to expand. There is no final resolution to report. Punch's integration is ongoing. His place in the troop is not yet secure, but for now, he is no longer only holding a toy. He is starting to reach for others. If this story stayed with you, consider subscribing. We cover real events from the animal world, grounded in science, told with care. Next time, another story from the animal world, where survival takes forms you might not expect.